Hey everybody, this is Alzorath, and welcome back to Diablo 2. Today we are doing the bonus episode, that is the cow level with the assassin here. Oh, and it started raining right as I started talking. That kind of sucks. But anyway, oh, and it stops as soon as I talk about it. Rogue encampment trolling. But anyway, cow level. It comes from Diablo 1, actually. There was a rumor that if you clicked on the cow a certain number of times or did something like that in Diablo 1, it would actually turn it into a cow portal. That was not true in Diablo 1, but it does exist in Diablo 2, and I believe, if memory serves, it exists in Diablo 3. But with Wurtzleg and a Tome of Town portal, we are able to create the secret cow level. A little bit of trivia about this. If you do not kill the Cow King, you can come in here as many times as you want. However, we are going to kill the Cow King, because this is just normal difficulty, and I felt like clearing it out and chatting with you guys about the series and plans for future episodes. If you guys would like to see me cover the other classes in Diablo 2, be sure to comment in the comments down below and tell me that you would like to see them, which class you'd like to see next and stuff like that, and I will be glad to cover them because this is actually a game that I enjoy playing. Other ARPGs, I probably won't cover it like end to end, but I will be trying to build them up in my backlog. I do plan to do a backlog of old games where I've recorded just huge batches of the game and then just release them one after another in the same time slot. And as you can see, this is really easy with the assassin here. At least on normal difficulty. On hell difficulty, not so much. It's a little bit hard on hell difficulty. But it's because I have good crowd control that's just like nothing. I could set it to players 8 and probably have a little bit of trouble, but still not a lot. They do have higher drop tables as well, so that's kind of the main reason people came into this one. And as long as we can keep the Cow King alive, we could actually come in as many times as we want. Instead, my goal is to kill the Cow King himself. My thoughts on Diablo 2 as a game as a whole. It's kind of a good kind of time killer. It's a loot game. You basically kill enemies and you get a bunch of loot. That's the entire point of the game. As far as the storyline, it's pretty good. I actually really love the universe for this game, but I feel like most of the games don't really express it as well as they could. It's kind of one of those weird dichotomies because the first game had a ton of atmosphere. Second game lost a lot of that for a more mainstream feel, and it kind of suffered for it, but the gameplay mechanics were so superior that in the end it was still the better game of the two. And Diablo 3, I feel, just kind of like lost that, and it's become just too slick and too polished. Despite being still a decent game, it's just not as good as it could have been if they would have been able to maintain the atmosphere. That's one reason why I actually like the direction Path of Exile took. Path of Exile being kind of more like the spiritual successor to Diablo 1. It takes a lot of the lessons that they showed off in Diablo 2 and applies them to the more grim, kind of overwhelmingly dark atmosphere of the original Diablo 1. And I'm actually out of mana here, so I'm going to go ahead and cast that. Let's identify the jewel. 3 mana after each kill. Not really going to use you for anything. But let's close that. And let's find that Cow King. But as far as the art design, pretty good. Music, really good if you actually listen to it. I didn't really show it off too much in this one. You can find the music for the game throughout the internet and on YouTube and stuff like that, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's really well designed for the game and the areas. Luke Ghislaine especially is really nice. I actually used to sometimes sit and listen to that. The only thing that can sometimes beat that is the Tristram song, which is a song that I have fallen asleep to before because I was just like listening to it. And yeah, the original Diablo 2 soundtrack was amazing as well. Matt Uelmen, I believe is his name. Not entirely positive on that one. The enemy design in this game is improved over the original for the most part. There were a few little unique things in the original that were a little bit better done, but overall the variety is just so much greater here that you just run into enemies that are really good. And design-wise, Act 5 introduces a lot of things that the base game did not really get too much from, such as the catapult sections and the where you could rescue the barbarians and have them help you. It was really kind of an interesting little dynamic there. And this is going to be the Cow King, I would wager. He should be in the middle of this thing. This is the corral. And yeah, he is. He's shooting lightning away from us. And we got leather armor, which is... I forget which one that is. And we got a set ring. Hopefully it's not the crappy set. And we've got things fighting. Vidala's ambush, not too bad. Let's see, angelic halo. Well, we would have had the 3/4 of the angelic set if I wouldn't have sold them all. So yeah, that's a thing. Such a shame. Angelic set was actually one of the good ones from the original. We have another unique full helm. So we've got 2 of these. Dusk Deeps. Sweet. Which one's better? One in our inventory. Variable stats on equipment is pretty nice as well. The game in general, as far as Diablo 2 versus Diablo 1, Diablo 2 is nowhere near as broken as Diablo 1. In Diablo 1, there were just overpowered things, and there were a lot of cheats that you could get a hold of that were, needless to say, pretty nasty. Just trying to think of how to phrase that. They just, in Diablo 1, duping was rampant, and it was something that they just never fixed. I don't think they could have fixed it, because it was, you had to drop something and basically replace it in your inventory, and that's kind of a bug that exploited the inventory position thing. The randomness in Diablo 1 was a little bit better in my opinion. This one is still procedurally generated, so it does have random factors in there, but it will develop certain levels clockwise, like with Mephisto's Lair. Well, the Durance of Hate, I believe is what's called, had a kind of fixed pattern to it where, yeah, the actual layout was different, but it wasn't so different that you couldn't speedrun it because, well, you just follow a certain pattern around the edge and you're guaranteed to run into a certain section first. And I don't know where my mouse went to on that. Throwing axes, a little bit of chess here. I do like that they include the cow level. It was a rather big thing to level up in the cow level in the days when I actually played. I don't know if it still is, but you just get an Amazon to run around destroying everything while everybody else just stood kind of by the portal. I was usually the Amazon killing things. And then they started upgrading, oddly enough, my bow sorceress, which was a weird build that doesn't work anymore because of how they changed the mastery system. The bow sorceress was pretty nasty at clearing it. It was faster than even the Amazon, even though the Amazon was more popular, because it used to be that the like elemental masteries for the sorceress influenced all elemental damage. So that's how a melee sorceress and a bow sorceress worked. And since there was a piercing explosive arrow bow, it just became ridiculous, especially combined with a bunch of, say, fire charms and stuff like that, and that's pretty much what it ran on. And it got ridiculous to where I was wiping out things in 8-player games faster than pretty much anything, even like static... I think it's static shock. It's a static field effect that reduces life by 1%, combined with the Amazon. I was going faster than that with it. And it was pretty fun. You could get astronomical damage that wouldn't display properly. So that's one of the first hints that you knew it was a bug that allowed you to do that, or at least an unintended effect. They've changed it to where it still has that effect, but it's at a reduced rate compared to whenever it was originally introduced. And I think we just cleared the entire cow level, and it's probably going to be way shorter than 10 minutes. But like I said, if you want to see a specific class, I will be glad to record it. It won't release right after the release of this one because, well, chances are I'll be recording something else at that time. This one actually should release mid-November, maybe late November, depending on how far along I get. I'm actually recording this beginning of November, so I should have some other things slotted before then. But I will look at them possibly after whatever series I have running now, and, well, running next. Man, this timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly crap is a little bit weird by me. But anyway, that's pretty much here. We could go through and maybe kill some of the bosses real quick, and then we'll call it an episode. I'll show off some of the bosses and how easy it is to actually run them. Let's see. First off, we've got the one of them that we actually skip if you ever do like a full boss run is the Duriel. Although it is possible to do, it takes a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of memory to do, which is something that I don't honestly remember all the signs, so you have to know which sign is missing to actually find it. Otherwise, you are wandering through all the tombs. And we're going to go down here, kill Andariel. She doesn't usually have a very good drop table, and as you can see, I'm not taking any damage from these guys, really. She has kind of a weak drop table, but you can get things such as Tarnhelm from her, which is a very powerful unique. You can also get there's a unique sword that's really good. It's really low level though. So it was part of my starter equipment, and I used to farm specifically for that kind of equipment just because I did start so many new characters that I had staged equipment that I could just go through and play the game just melee without any help or anything like that, and just go through killing stuff rather effectively with level 2 and 3 equipment. You can actually get a little bit overpowered early on doing that. You can go through normal without even really using any of your skill boosts. Small shield and a Rondochet, not exactly useful. She didn't drop any uniques, which kind of makes me feel sad. Let's go ahead and we will skip Duriel, but the Duriel thing is you look at the symbols around the Arcane Sanctuary. Not this one, the one where he's actually at. We'll go down here and I'll show it off real quick. Should be able to get through these guys relatively quick unless they bunch up right there like that. Okay, kill. There you go. Just kill all the guys and just run past them. Notice it's not as difficult now that I am much higher level and actually don't have it on players 8. I suppose I should have done the cow level on players 8 for maximum resources, but now that we've actually killed the Cow King, I can't go back in there until I get to Nightmare difficulty's end, which is a lot more troublesome and probably won't be shown off right away. If I do Nightmare or Hell, it's probably going to be as a Necromancer or as a Sorceress. Just going to put that one out there just because I prefer those classes overall. I don't really hate any of the classes as far as their playstyle goes. It's just that I'm more used to playing certain ones, and I think we just went down the wrong one. Yes, we did. It's the top right one, isn't it? But anyway, you'd get down to the Arcane Sanctuary's end, and you'd be able to just look at what symbols are around, and then look at the ground and tell which ones are missing. And you'd go towards the one that's missing, and that's going to be the actual temple that he'd be in. Which, he doesn't have a good drop table in this difficulty, but in Hell difficulty, he's actually okay to run. So some people kind of perfected that. Durance of Hate level 2 for Mephisto. You can also run the Travancore run, which is the Council. They have decent drop tables as well. These guys are not a huge threat to me anymore. They can do a little bit of damage, but yeah, as you can see, I'm just running past them. I take a little chip off my life for it, and that's because I haven't leveled life a whole lot either. And those guys just will die behind me. See? Yay! That doesn't really hurt me at all. Durance of Hate level 2. Level 3 will actually have a little bit of pain in it. So we go through and we'll kill all these guys. I'm not going after Duriel. I could do all the bosses again, but I don't want to. So we just kill off everything around here. This guy always is lightning enchanted, which kind of sucks for me, but it's not too terrible. He just dies off pretty quick now that I'm fairly high level. Let's go ahead and switch back to that and grab her. Okay. Kill off you. And they just go down so quick it's not even funny anymore. And here's Mephisto. If we trigger him and run him this way, he should die pretty quick to our fire here. Come on. Come on down. Come on, Mephisto. Stop playing the games here. You don't want to get hit by his lightning ball, but the lightning ball is pretty much the only thing he has that's really threatening. And see how much life that's taking off of him? Yeah, it gets pretty nasty. The Sorceress is a lot faster at this, but it's not a big issue to go through each of the bosses and just kill them all off and go on to the next area. Yay. I used to go through and just slowly kill every single super boss, every single like major boss, and just kill them off that way. Do I want Diablo? No, I don't want Diablo. We're not going to go through all of them. But it's a fun game that I enjoyed playing as a teenager and a kid and for ages. I was a teenager the entire time, but young teenager into an older teenager. Met a lot of interesting people while playing it. It was my introduction to serious online gaming. Diablo 1 was my first introduction to it. This is the one that I actually sunk a lot of hours into it. And I have to say, it really does have a lot of good memories, and if you guys enjoyed watching this or thought you might want to try it out, I highly recommend this if you are interested at all in the history of gaming, because this is one that really did change a genre, or really kind of defined it, in fact. The action RPG genre borrows a lot from this. I may cover Nox, which is one that borrowed from Diablo 2 and took it a different path, and more into like a CRPG almost feel to it, but not quite. It's a strange game, but that's something else entirely. And why did the screen all of a sudden go dark? Don't know why. But if you guys enjoyed this, like I said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next series I make. Not sure what it is going to be yet. But keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath, and this has been a bonus episode of Diablo 2, covering the cow level and my thoughts on the game. Probably won't do this for every class. See you guys next time. Bye.
Many moons have passed since I left the town of Tristram behind me. Since then, I've tried to forget the terrors I beheld beneath the cold earth, and the twisted nightmares that have haunted my every waking moment. There's something dark within me now. I can feel it, driving me towards the east, assuring me that my salvation lies within the ruins of ancient kingdoms. Though I know the way, I know not what perils will arise to hinder my journey. And as I pass through the first gate, I know that the better part of my soul